Hello, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show, Part 2. I was just on with John, and we did a show. We haven't done that in a while. Was stand-in for Ben. That was kind of fun. It was nice to see John again, do a show with him. I'm here with our world traveler, Mr. Jay Brannan.
Yeah, that's my headboard back there.
Now, just so you know, if Jay takes you out on the balcony,
I will eventually. At the end of the show, I will take you out. So
like Jazzy Jeff is out there and there's a party and he's like, nope, we're doing a broadcast tonight.
Yeah, I asked Jazzy Jeff if he would wait, and he said, I've got this contract, and I'm like, dude, we're doing this thing for DJNTV. Like,
right.
Show some respect.
That's how dedicated Jay is.
By the way, he dropped the Fresh Prince card on me. He's like, well, Fresh Prince. And I'm like, please.
Right.
Please. What have you guys done since then?
And it wouldn't be the Tuesday Night Music Show without our superstar producer, engineer, wingman.
I'm pointing.
Well, you're pointing the opposite direction of what I'm seeing on my screen.
Well, on my screen, he's right here.
Howie. He could be anywhere. I'm not sure where he is, but he's here somewhere.
Yeah.
From your perspective. Thank you for being here, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about this week. There's a lot going on, man.
I know. Hey, I was wondering, I had a question for you. You did an event, and there was an incident that happened. And there was a video that was leaked.
Yeah,
right
I didn't see it until today.
It was leaked.
Yeah, it was. Yes. It was leaked. Yeah, there was an incident at Welcome to Rockville with was the band Brass. Is that what they called? Brass Against.
Honestly, I've never heard of that band, but now that Sophia has done that,
they've gone gold.
What's the incident? Now. I missed this. What's going on?
You'll have to Google it. I'll tell you what. You go ahead and Google it while Howie and I talk.
All right.
You need to look this up. Brass Against. That's all you have to type in and look at the stories.
Let's just say that Sophia had piss poor judgment on stage.
Yeah, she did, and so did the audience member who volunteered to participate.
Yes,
and her.
I think that was a setup. I think that was a setup.
I don't know, but it was. I heard about it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I watched the video. I'm like, oh my god, that was nowhere near me.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah, you got to watch the video. It's funny.
Oh yeah, I already saw the headline.
But the video is priceless.
Yeah,
it's on YouTube.
But the thing is, they're going to go through the roof as far as fame goes because she got banned somewhere. If you get banned, it's gold publicity.
No, that's yeah,
golden,
showered with gold. Yes.
You know what? The first time I ever heard of MGK, like Machine Gun Kelly, was that he had spit vodka into a girl's mouth at one of his shows. And it made it TMZ, and they were like, what is this all about?
Oh, that's very tame compared to this.
Yes, it's very tame.
This is golden.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah.
Watch the video. Do yourself a favor and watch the video.
No, I'm going to.
This is like one of those reaction videos you see on YouTube. This is Jay's reaction to Rise Against at Rockville. Watch the video.
I like Rise Against.
Yes.
Not Rise Against.
For the viewers out there, what you want to do is put in Rockville Festival.
Brass Against.
Brass Against.
Brass
the name
Against.
Of the band.
So let's go right to video.
Go to the video.
Yeah, that's what I moved.
No,
there we go.
Yeah. Just react to it.
I shall. I'm on my phone. I'm getting just like screenshots. Why the fuck? Sorry. Why won't they play the video?
I went in YouTube and typed in Brass Against, and it came up pretty quick.
Oh, it did. Yeah. All right. Well, let me skip all this.
Yeah, you got to go into YouTube. Folks, this is just worth it. You got to have to see Jay's reaction to this.
If it was the day before and you typed in Brass Against, you would get like
no one would have had it. Yeah, there would be no hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, no hits.
You got
Oh, here we go. Brass Against, 3 million views 4 days ago. This is probably it.
You don't have to hear
video.
it.
Like, is there a point in the video? Oh, here we go. Wait, let's try this one.
Watch Jay's face. Get your hand away from your mouth.
It looks like he's in church and the pastor is saying, "You're going to hell."
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Like, keep watching. Keep watching.
Oh, yeah. It's real.
Jesus fucking. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. What is that?
You know just what it is.
Has he not gone to the bathroom in like 2 days? 3 days?
No, that's a woman doing it.
It's a woman.
Wait, that's a woman?
Yes.
That's Sophia.
Oh my God, I thought it was a guy.
The woman.
No, that's Sophia.
Oh my God. Okay. I can't unsee that. Okay.
Okay.
Oh God.
Mission accomplished. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Hey,
Thanks
good
for
night.
watching. Good night, everybody. Jay, you okay?
That was disgusting.
Are you all right?
You had to see it though.
Fine, but I'll survive. But that was disgusting.
The stage was nowhere near me, by the way. And whenever you hear somebody say, "I gotta pee like a racehorse," that's pretty much what happened.
That's it. Yeah.
No, that was like a weird shower head pee. Or
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Jay tried to be a little less descriptive.
Oh, that was like George was walking down the street in a downpour. That's what you saw.
So Jay's at some wedding MBA thing or some thing with Jazzy Jeff. I was at that festival.
Oh,
so who's more rock and roll?
I meant this. Hold on, if I can
But that stage was nowhere near me. I didn't know about the incident until today. So that's how much buzz there was at the festival about it.
This is my little show right now.
There you go.
You know, DJ Collective.
DJ Collective, that's where you are.
But yeah, dude, I didn't know you were doing you're in the front row. That's why I'm here. Everyone, in case you ever wondered, that's exactly why I'm here.
Brass Against. Mm-hmm.
If I ever go see Brass Against, it's going to be like I'm going to a Gallagher show. I'm bringing a raincoat.
Seriously. Bring a trench coat, a cover. Yeah.
Forget about Watermelon Smash with a sledgehammer.
You know what? Let me turn the tables real fast. What do you guys think about this? Is this something that we've seen before with... I'll give you an example. There was a band...
I want to see South Park get a hold of this and see what they do with it.
Oh, they'll go nuts.
Yeah.
There was a band that I still do enjoy called Wasp back in the 80s. And
I've seen them live.
They threw raw meat at the audience. So their reputation went out before the internet, oh my God, they're killing babies on stage and throwing them out to the audience. Now you have a band with the internet which shows everything. There are people that will literally go see this band to see that act.
Yes. It'd be like Wendy O when she would come on.
Wendy O would oh my God, she's topless. Dude, you spent nothing cream on topless girl.
Yeah. Or Jim Morrison and the Doors in Miami.
And he one time whipped it out in Miami.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, Howie, are we going backwards now to the old days of you might see this? Is it now gone back to the reality of you don't know what you're getting? Or is it?
No, I think my first thoughts when I saw it was that is very punk. That is something that I would have seen. You're right. Way back when I was at.
You know what, Howie? That's what I was thinking because I'm seeing this and I'm thinking that's pretty shocking. But back in Howie's day, that was Tuesday.
Who was the guy that died? Suicide guy, Gigi, or was it the lead singer of the Germs with Pat Smear? It was Gigi something, who was notorious for doing all this shit on stage. Gigi, not Gigi Clark, but Gigi something. And he was notorious for hey, it's a good show. I think I'll cop a squat here on the table and like, go to the bathroom. Like,
right.
Why?
Right.
Like, what did that do? But then go back to Iggy Pop with like, I'll cut my chest open and like, but what? Like, what's your take on that?
Actually, he was the first. He would break he would grab somebody's drink, smash it on stage, and roll around in it, get up and continue, and he'd be bleeding like crazy.
It's performance art, really. I mean, it's shocking, but it's performance art.
Well, let's
people came back next week.
Is this a Warhol thing? Do you think, Howie? Was this Warhol based?
No, I don't think so. Because I saw so many people copy Iggy Pop. I mean, even recently, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, Iggy did that first. That's it's kind of like seeing a kid with a mohawk and purple hair. It's like, dude, that's not new,
right? Right. This. I mean, I don't know, man.
But what is new now? Is new that's new, old then?
That's new on a big LED video screen. That's very new.
Yeah,
right. But it's new to the audience that doesn't know the old stuff.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah. I mean, it's not that it's never been done.
Have to redo the 80s, 90s, 2000s because these idiots don't know that this already happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But I start a plasmatics group today, Howie.
Right.
With a female singer with X's on her breast and a guy with a mohawk playing a flying V. And John
what's really interesting about this conversation? Jay is looking at it from a taste perspective.
Well,
Howie and I are both looking at it like it's performance art. I know how he's thinking this. Because I think I like looking at it as
are we going to see this replicated going forward? Like people are going to be like, check it out. So. There's a girl that crashed a car. Like, yeah, we already saw that. Like, my point, Brian, is are we now seeing the the redoing of everything that's already been done?
Yes,
that's been happening. So. That's called postmodernism. It's been happening for a very long time.
It shouldn't be called postmodernism. It should be called fucking copycats that are doing what already happened.
That's where I was going to go, because when I was doing Sound at Max's and Iggy had already done Rolling in Glass and Cutting Himself and Bleeding, every band that came on tried to one up that with the shock value. It's quite possible that we could see a resurgence of these bands trying to do something shocking to get banned, and then boom.
I'm wondering if, like, when New Romanticism thing was going on, the New Romantic movement of fashion was going on with Adam and the Ants and stuff. And like George Washington was saying, we've done this already. They're just copycats.
Well, like Spandau Ballet will have bigger hair and bigger suits,
or Emerson, Lake and Palmer doing classical music with a rock beat behind it.
Right? And then Metallica did a beautiful job with that with S&M.
They did,
but it was good. They did it well. Yes. It was okay.
But there's always groups around them that we don't know that are still staying true to their form. There's the Ramones of today that are still doing their thing and not changing.
Well, let me bring this around into something. Let me. Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me just bring this around into something. I think tonight's topic for the show, after we're 15 minutes into it, should be how to set yourself apart. Okay. Now, I'm not suggesting that what
would do it.
happened
I think that would do
it. Show is something you should do, but I think it would be very difficult to argue that they did not set themselves apart by doing it. So I want to talk about what I did at this very same festival last week.
My God, are you going to show a video of you pissing on cigars?
Jay and I talked in great length about what types of music I should play for this festival, because although I do know rock,
you do.
Jay's better at it than I am. Jay's more in tune with it than I am, because I tuned out a long time ago.
Right.
But I still know it. And we put together a really good list of things that we thought would be good. Now, I had the audience in front of me, and you've got Chevelle, you've got Anthrax, you've got Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Metallica, Stain, Disturbed.
The Pantera would
Brass
not,
Against.
Pantera would not lose.
Yeah.
All on these stages. So we're thinking, okay, we got a program for an audience who digs this. Now, once the audience was in front of me, I didn't play much of that at all.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
What I did was I played things that were different than what the stages were playing. And what that did was set me apart. I say me because I was playing, but it was actually setting us apart as a group who was there to accomplish something, and it drew attention. And people were dancing in the aisle, and they were attracted to the tent I was in because it was different.
Yeah.
Different,
so being different is, you know, if you're just like everybody else, no one's going to pay any attention to you. If you're a copycat or if you're a Me Too, no one's going to pay any attention to you. But if you do something good and unique and different, they will. Something else I wanted to talk about, or I wanted to mention.
But you should have those bullets in the belt. That's
of course.
Please at least say, if needed, I've got Pantera and this and this and
this. Well, no, I'm not saying.
Let me add this too, though. Your booth looked beautiful. That whole Swisher Sweets thing looked beautiful.
That wasn't me. That was
with your talent and the sound. Of course, they're going to stop by.
Right. It's a crap show, though, where you're like, wow, I could go this way with funk. And they're all like, oh, man, I love this. I love this. I love this. But at least have that basis.
Of course.
Now,
I'm not suggesting
how did you do that, though? Like when they were walking by between acts, you would throw something out?
Sure. Yeah. Just to address Jay, I'm not suggesting you don't prepare for any outcome.
Right. No.
You prepare for every outcome.
300 plus songs.
You prepare
to it like, oh, here's Pantera.
You know, I think you should prepare for every possible outcome.
Right.
Including stuff that you totally can't. I mean, well, no, of course it wouldn't be Michael Jackson, but I have it. And guess what? It was.
Just in case.
It was.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Okay. It was Prince. It was The Time. It was Mary Jane Girls, Rick James. It was fun. It was Outkast. It was Weeknd.
Who would have thought this would have gone that way? But the fans have different likings. They're gay. You know, when it's all said and done, you know, they go where they go. And
you have no possible way of knowing.
No, so, but if you can be different, sometimes that's exactly the, you know, the little secret sauce that makes the night.
Yeah. Well, to address Howie's point or Howie's question, I was watching the audience's response. And when I say audience, okay, my placement there, I was close to the Sirius XM Octane stage, which was one of two main stages. Now Brass Against was on, I think, the Rockville stage, which is one of the smaller stage. Yeah, the smaller stages. And there were like 2 or 3 smaller stages just scattered about. They weren't even very loud. We didn't hear them when they were performing. But between the 2 main stages, so I just as an example, hypothetically, you'd have Offspring on the stage, on like the Zebra stage, which was the main stage that was furthest away from me. Right. I couldn't really hear them. Let's say Offspring played to 7:20, and then Disturbed would come on at 7:30 on the XM stage. So there would be this traffic,
like mass exodus.
Yes, back and forth.
Gotcha.
So when there was that traffic going on, I had all these people in front of me, and that's when I wanted to grab their attention. So I would just throw bait out to see what they would respond to. And I would play to, you know, at first I was like, okay, let's do some rock and see if we can attract them. And that didn't work. So I'm like, okay, screw it. Let's do some Weeknd and see what happens. And that attracted them. Right. And that's when they started bobbing their heads, saying, hey, this is cool. And they kind of dance as they went past and smile and wave. And sometimes they turn around, hey, what's going on in here? They turn around, they just come in. And we have a crowd. It was weird that way.
Nobody is into what they're into 24/7. Tommy Lee did a great thing about Home Sweet Home. And they said, like, how'd you come up with that? He's like, you know what? You can't be the hard guy 24/7.
Right.
You got to have those moments, and that's where I wrote that, and that made sense to the band and the fans and everyone else, because Home Sweet Home was different.
Yeah.
It wasn't what we did, because you can't be that guy. And I totally agree with what you're saying. Fans, like, I'm a huge fan of R&B, but I'm a huge fan of hard rock and metal.
And you would be at that show. You would totally be at Rockville.
If I'd been at Rockville, I would have been in my prime. I've been like fucking Anthrax and
dude. If this was happening in San Diego and you had the week off, you'd go. I'd probably bring the kids.
Yeah,
but you're into other things too.
At the same time, there's a point where you feel like, to me, music becomes like liquor, like shot. Hey, chill back, have this little cocktail. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it becomes, you can't do something so hard so long. You need a break. You need a little side note.
Yeah.
And that's
especially if it's a 4-day festival.
So I can see Prince and everything else working. I wanted to prep you with, like, hey, Brian, here's, if you have to go that way, go.
And I did play some of the tracks. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that it wasn't the focus that I
didn't think
anybody anticipated.
That totally makes sense.
As a DJ,
play Pantera, though?
To me,
you play Pantera?
Makes sense to me, because you got to figure 100,000 people.
Right.
What are the chances that, let's say, only 1,000 of them are true music lovers like us that will have a wide palette? Yeah, they would gravitate to your booth.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
We got to go for a biggest net. We got to go for the widest net possible.
Yeah. And like, The Rock wasn't.
I love this. Yeah.
Well,
I get that.
On Friday, we played a pre-programmed playlist as buffer tracks between karaoke singers, because there was a lot of that.
Okay.
And nobody cared about those tracks because we sounded like everybody else. It was all stuff that was put together with the artists that were there playing. It was Chevelle, it was Disturbed, it was Stained, it was all that stuff. And no one cared. Nope. But when we played different stuff, they came in. So I did play some Ozzy. I did play a lot of Metallica. But the stuff that was the real, like, bait that reeled them in was funky. It was Parliament Flashlight, it was fun stuff. So, but who knew? I mean, and it's just like doing a wedding. You don't know until you're there. Your client may say, we want to hear this and this and this.
But until you're in the moment,
you don't know.
No, I respect and appreciate that. And so what I heard you say was, without Jay's playlist, this would have
been terrible. Right.
Failure.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up, which isn't really that relevant, but I just wanted to just mention it about standing out. There were a lot of bands on that stage, and I wasn't there for all of them because I would leave usually right before the last act. And out of all the bands that I heard, they all kind of sounded pretty similar, especially the bands early on. The one who stuck out the most really stood out because I feel like, going back to what we were talking about earlier about doing something well.
Right.
Rob Zombie.
Really Rob good. Zombie's amazing.
But the music was...
His guitarist is John 5. The guy is so freaking talented. It's insane.
Oh, he was good.
He's an artist.
Oh, he's insanely talented.
Yeah.
The music was great. The tempo of the music was different than what anyone else was doing. The energy was different. Rob's a professional. I mean, that stood out.
He presents music like he does his movies. Like,
exactly.
It's a story. It's a journey.
It's good.
Look, go. Like,
but he really stood out with all the other artists that played.
So talented.
He was just...
That totally makes sense.
He is just a pro. I mean, not my... Pardon?
Did you see Slipknot?
I heard Slipknot.
You didn't see them set or no?
No, I was busy.
Okay.
I was working the show.
How to do a show. Like, there's like 8-9 guys on stage and they just go ballistic. Yeah. But they do it in a controlled chaos manner.
No.
Rob Zombie, who I've seen a few times, he can show up on stage and just present this show. He's like Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen him.
I've seen Alice Cooper.
Show.
Yeah, I've seen Alice Cooper. Everything is choreographed.
Right. But
he actually has a master magician do the gimmicks for what appear to be magic and illusions. Yeah.
But I think that Rob Zombie's take on it is, this is what I love, this is what I've fallen into, and let's put it all together, but it may not be perfect. So it seems kind of like it's always striving to get there, but it may not make it. And that's what makes it so good. Like he's working it to get, oh, what do you think? Are we there? Are we there?
He's natural. And he even said, I mean, like, I'm not doing my normal show tonight. We're kind of short on time because they were. It's like, so we're not going to waste your time tonight. We're just going to get right into it. And he did. And it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah.
He did about an hour set, and it was really good.
Wow.
It's fun to mention that. So
yeah. Oh, excellent.
Just standing out. I mean, he stood out by being different than the rest.
By the way, for you as a DJ and music lover, did you not drive away from the show thinking, what the F am I into here? Because that's not your realm.
No, but it's not foreign land either. I mean,
no, it's not. No, you get it.
Right.
But it's
I
not
get it.
your comfort zone.
It's not. I'm not uncomfortable with it. It's just not.
No, but it's not where you live.
No, but I've lived there. I have lived there.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, it's a bit like, I'm from Indiana. I go there. I get it. But
totally.
It's not what I do now, but I understand it. It's not shocking to me. I knew exactly what was going on. So yeah, it wasn't like, I don't know. It's not like I went to some, Japanese music festival or some K-pop festival. It wasn't like that. It was, pretty familiar, it's rock show,
But did you have fun with it?
It was good. But I mean, you got to understand, I mean, I wasn't just sitting there watching shows. I saw very few shows.
Right.
I saw a little bit of Anthrax. I saw Rob Zombie. I watched that
Anthrax. One. It looked amazing. The place was packed.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
They were packed.
I caught a couple of shows. I wasn't able to stand out there for most of them. Most of the time, I mean, I was pulling like double duty as a tech and a performer. So I was wearing a lot of hats and doing a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I totally.
And when you're there for 12 hours a day, you typically want to go to a quiet place when you can. And since I wasn't playing during the bands, I would sneak away into the quietest place I could find and be for a while. Because as soon as I was back on,
bars where
I went in the back and sat on a cooler, just away from everything and drink whatever was in the cooler. Usually something some nasty millennial
vodka?
Like no.
So well, let's bring this full circle. What happened when you had to take a shower break?
It was quiet time. I mean, as quiet as I could get it.
So you could just walk off and go ahead.
Yeah, that was break time. I, go pee, go sit, have a drink, have a bite.
The door when you peed, right?
Pardon?
You closed the door when you peed.
Yeah, and locked it. Yeah. Put the occupied bread thing out. Yeah.
You know what, Brian? What's funny to me is you look at bands versus DJs, and and Howie knows, and I know, bands are always trying to take the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job. Like, get on stage and make a show. Versus a DJ who shows up and looks at a crowd and goes, I got you. I know what to play. I know where I am. And it's one of those things that will never, ever, ever, ever change.
Well,
in my opinion.
And it
will
doesn't get
always
old.
be going for broke. Like, our show is our music.
Let me take your thoughts and put a little different twist or perspective on it.
Okay.
So I've always been under the impression that a band is what you pay attention to. Like, they're on the stage and you're watching them. They are the entertainment, and the entertainment is watching them.
Right.
Where most DJs, aside from the superstar EDM guys from 10 years ago, most DJs are there and saying, hey, you're the show.
Exactly.
So don't look at me. You're the show. It's about you. It's about being social, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Well, look at EDC. When they say headliners, do you know who they mean? The participants, not the stage. They've always said, we're so excited for the headliners to show up. They don't mean Tiesto. They don't mean Calvin Harris. They genuinely mean the people that bought tickets to be there because they are the headliners. The DJs are playing to the headline.
As a performer, it took me years to figure out that they weren't supposed to be watching me the whole time. It really did.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they weren't supposed to be watching me because when I started doing this, I was being trained by ex-frontmen of bands.
Right.
So they were very much like on the speakers dancing around, look at me. So that's what I did. I emulated them in my performance.
Right. And that's a band mentality where 45 minutes, look at us. Break.
Yeah.
45 minutes, look at us. Break.
Right.
No, you're at a wedding. Look at the bride and groom.
It took me years to figure that out. I mean, I'm not stupid. I didn't understand my role.
Do with that at all. I think it has to do with the training session. I think it has to do with how are you introduced to doing a job.
It's changed. I think the job description has changed. The duties have changed. The responsibilities have changed. But yeah, that's not who we are. So
no,
I've talked about this before where I went to my oldest daughter's friend Laura's wedding. I don't know, 6-7 years ago. Blanca and I were invited. We went. And
Jenny's?
Her name's Laura. And
no, but Jenny's friend?
Jeannie. Yeah, Jeannie's friend.
The way you presented that, I had to go down like a little thing. Where I'm like,
Jeannie. Yeah, Jeannie's friend Laura.
Yeah, okay. Now that makes sense.
Anyway, the band came out and the song they opened with was Hold the Line by Toto, and they got dancers. And I was like, what the hell?
You told me that, and I was just like, how? And I
don't know, but it worked. It worked.
By the way, if you're old like me, I got to say real quick, I hate to interrupt everybody, but when Hold the Line broke, it broke at the exact same time when Rod Stewart, Do You Think
I'm Sexy?
Yeah.
Broke literally within a week or two of each other. And I just remember being like, watching One Day at a Time with Schneider with the big key thing on his belt and being like, when I'm a big boy and I'm an adult and I kiss girls, this is the soundtrack.
And the chain, you get the chain.
Yeah, I wish I had, but I never quite had the
You should totally grow a Schneider mustache, dude.
No, I didn't have, well, if I shave everything else off. You know what? This is the joy that we have, guys. We play music, and I will go to my grave someday, I hope not soon, and I will still never have heard all of the great music that I wish I had.
Well, let's step that back, because you say that a lot.
You know why I say it, Brian? Because every day of my life, I hear something new, and I go, oh my God, what is this? Who is Here, Brian, do you know the band Breakwater?
Yeah, Release the Beat. We talked about that.
Right. But there's a million of those.
I know.
There's a million of those where I feel robbed sometimes, Brian.
But hold on a minute. Before you monologue on this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You gotta take a step back here. What's the alternative? It's either I'll never have an opportunity to hear all the great music, or I'm so bored. I've heard all the great music.
No, Brian.
Right.
What's better? What's better?
Latter. I want the first.
Right.
Now,
I totally
how many viewers do you think are going to go to YouTube and listen to Brass Against to see if they're all?
Oh, you don't need to listen to Brass Against. You just need to watch the video.
No. I want to hear if they're any good.
I'll do you one better, Howie. I'll give you something that everyone that watches this show, and I'm looking up in the corner right now, Dewey Cheatham and How, my agents gave me we have 7.6 million viewers right now. I'll tell you what, everybody, do yourselves a favor. Look up a group called Breakwater. And the song is
Release the Beast.
Mm-hmm. And you can thank Brian and I and Howie tomorrow. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. Music to me is much like whatever drug you're on, oxygen, food, coffee, smoking. There is never a moment in my life where music doesn't play a part. I walked out of my hotel room this morning at 6:30. The sun was rising. I put it on my Instagram page, and I heard something in my background. And I heard Level 42, Lessons of Love. And then suddenly I was in the room, and I heard Wang Chung from To Live and Die in L.A., The Chase. And I love music. I love it the way you guys love it, and maybe more. And it's just my life. And like I've always said, when I stop DJing, I won't retire, because you can't retire from who you are.
I was in Starbucks getting ready to go to the airport yesterday in Daytona Beach.
Did you hear that story, Brian? Before you even tell it, I hate to interrupt, but the way you tell it, it's already a story that means something. Oh, I was going to Starbucks on the way to the airport before I. That's
all I was going to say is they were playing some cool progressive house. It was nice. It was nice to hear that. I mean, I didn't know the tracks they were playing, but I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know? I'm not used to hearing that in a Starbucks, but it was nice.
I'm going to do a video next week on a set that I saw with Chris Cox, CB Shaw, Terry Moran, Golden Tiki in Vegas last week. 15, 16 tracks that are on 45s, and it was amazing.
Okay, tell the story.
Go to Golden Tiki with Chris Cox. DJ's got a Shriner's hat, a blue jumpsuit. Looks like honestly, kind of a Michael Myers just escape patient. It's like, I go over to him and I go, hey man, what's up? I'm a DJ. Oh, I am too. Cool. Just playing some 45s. I'm like, really? Yeah, I found these in the garage today. I'm like, oh, cool.
Today,
that day.
Yeah.
So he's so new to being a DJ, he doesn't know enough to say, I'll have to wait on this. So he's literally going through them like this. Oh, cool. This looks good. No BPM. No, this is the program. And it was like, what the F is this guy doing? And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's my point. I didn't know one song he played.
Right. It was all rare groove stuff. Yeah. B-sides, goofy shit.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. I don't want to upset John or the channel or anything else. Music to me is at times the biggest high you can get. Like, there's no liquor that matches music.
Well, before you go any further, I just want to say that what Jay's talking about, I've seen this before. I've seen it in my neighborhood.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day. Yeah,
and it's fun. It's like these. I don't think these guys are even getting paid. I mean, but we're not talking about money. We're not talking about music on this show tonight. It's being different. So I think these guys were just doing it for bar tab. But there was a place across the street from me. It's called Blackbird now. It used to be called Groove. Yeah. And on the side of the building, there was like a sign that looked like a Technics 1200 kind of tilted sideways. And it said Groove above it. It was a really cool place. I used to go in there when I could. And they would have a guy or two in there with a couple 1200s and a stack of 45s. I heard some amazing stuff that I never heard anywhere else.
You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like a musical potluck dinner.
It was.
I wonder what that casserole is.
But it was.
I've never had this, but boy, it's really good.
It was nothing familiar. It's not like they were playing the hits or
guys.
Anything.
Chris Cox. You both know and respect.
Yeah.
Cox, and I'm sitting there. We get up to leave. It's like 2:30, 2:40 in the morning. It's me, Chris Cox, CB Shaw from Canada, who's an amazing DJ, Terry Moran from Boston. Chris Cox walks over to the guy and goes like, here, shh, $20. So I'm like, oh, I'm right behind him. Like, here you go. Shh. CB Shaw, shh. Terry Moran, shh. Like, he didn't get paid, but like in the span of like 10 seconds, made like $100.
Right. I went over to Blackbird. I'm like, hey, man, cool. I live across the street. I've got some crazy cool records. How can I get in on this? I'm like, well, come on down. I'm like, well, what does it pay? I was like, "Oh, we don't pay." I'm like, "Well, I don't DJ." But
you know what it was, Brian? Just like you said when I spoke to you the other day, and Brian was so fast to catch this. He's like, "Oh no, I get this. It was a blank canvas with a guy that can't paint that painted a masterpiece.
Yeah, basically, you ended up with like John Michel.
Am I right?
Yeah, Basquiat.
Said,
Just weird doodles that are amazing.
Right. I had to get through last week, this week. I got a wedding on Saturday. And then on Monday, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to post every song he played. And when you look at them on...
Because he was Shazamming them all. Probably.
The entire set.
Yeah. How do you know what he played? Well, you're probably Shazamming it.
Oh, no. Hour and a half of music, and I could not name not one group.
Wow, that's impressive.
Not one group.
So much fun. But you liked it.
Yeah. I loved it, Brian. I loved it because you know what it was? And this is the weird part about music. Music to me is not a drug that you get high on. Music to me is the thing that you substantiate and live on. Where the next day you wake up and go, oh my God, I heard Release the Beast from
Breakwater. Yeah.
And I'd never heard that before.
Now, okay, I'm going to stop you. Do you remember the last live show lounge we had in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I played a set for you. I played you an hour or two's worth of amazing tracks you'd never heard of.
No, you did.
And that's fun. Mm-hmm. That's fun to do that.
100%.
I mean, that's the joy for me. I mean, I know how to do that.
No, Brian.
But he didn't know what he was doing, and it was still fun.
Brian, I understand in like 100 years when I leave this planet, I will leave it and I will never have heard all of the great music that has ever been made. And it's
be thankful.
Where I chase it. Every day of my life, it's a chase.
You've always got something new that way.
What haven't I heard? What haven't I heard? What haven't I heard?
It's going to keep it interesting for you for a long time.
I love my wife. I love my children. I love my family. But God Almighty, bro.
You love White Claw.
No. You know what? If it came down to it, I'll tell you right now. If it came down to every day of your life will give you new music or no White Claw, I can get rid of White Claw. I can't get rid of new music. I can't.
Yeah.
I did a 13-day fast once. I didn't eat food for 13 days.
Oh, now it's 13 days. Okay.
It's getting longer.
No. I was 28 years old. I was 28. You know what? You laugh, but I'll be honest with you.
No.
13 days without music. No, I'm being honest.
It's just Jay's greatest hits for just listening. No.
Why are you guys laughing? Seriously.
Because we've heard these stories.
We're having fun.
Well, the viewers out there will judge. I'm just saying, I can't go without music. I can go without food.
I point to it. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. But I think that you're better off in your position where you'll never hear all the great music than you would be if you've already heard all the great music.
It bothers me, though, doesn't it? Does it bother you ever?
No, because if I had heard all the great music, I'd have nothing to do and nothing to discover. There's always something to discover. Once you've known everything, you're done. Die.
Here.
I mean, you can't know it all, and your taste will change.
Brian, I'm saying you get up in the morning and say, "This is the day where I hear this song."
No, and you know what? I like it when I hear things by accident. That's my favorite. And that's why I don't like to make playlists when I travel. I like the trip to create that playlist for me.
That's a great point.
So I always want it to be a surprise.
Right.
And I don't expect it to happen. When it happens, I'm happy. And it happened for me yesterday at Starbucks, which is what I was kind of talking about before. I heard, oh, that's really good. I like that. Yep. It's much, and I was thinking about those kind of things when I was programming for the Rockville 10. I'm like, I don't want to play the same stuff they hear every day on the radio. Right. I want to play something that's like either that's pretty cool or, oh my gosh, I haven't heard this in forever. That's what I was going for.
Right.
And that's kind of the same thing I try to do when I'm doing weddings and things. Even if they say, hey, play some 80s. I don't want to go right to girls just want to have fun. I want to do, something that they forgot about. Not something that's just been pounded into the lexicon. And of course, that's what he plays if they play 80s.
You know what? Let's maybe next week, let's do a show about play something from, and let's start, old school, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever. And let's get our three perspectives on, hey, play something from the 80s. Like, if you had to play a track from the 80s, what would you play to represent the 80s?
Well, okay. I think that would be an interesting show, and I already have some thoughts on some directions we can go.
I think a lot of people would be able to jump in and say, I would play this. Like if I said to a DJ, give me a 70s track. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Play me a song that represents the 70s. And they would ask for clarity, disco or funk or no. Play me a song that everyone is going to know. Oh, that's 70s.
Yeah, I think clarification is important, especially when we're talking about 70s and 80s music, because
my gosh.
Well, okay. Well, here's why. And it's not that you have to play the track they ask for.
No. I'm saying the track to represent.
Well, who knows what they're into? It could be rock, could be funk, could be a lot of things.
Brian, I want to go backwards. If somebody comes up to me as a DJ and says, hey, man, play me a 70s song.
Well, 70s rock, 70s rock, 70s southern rock, disco.
Howie and I are thinking alike on this.
I'm saying, can you, is what I'm asking.
I can do a lot of things, but can I successfully do it without more information is the question.
70s, 80s.
There you go.
Like if you said a song, I play Pearl Jam, Even Flow. And everyone would go, oh, fucking 90s.
Good one in here. So what I would do if someone came up to me and said, play an 80s song, I always go blank and I say, what do you like from the 80s? If they tell me they like Def Leppard, I'm not going to necessarily play a Def Leppard song, but I know it's rock.
Right.
I can do something else. Whereas if they say, house, oh, well, we're going to do, I'm not, something like that or something more dance. If they say, Duran Duran, I know that I can go to a breathla of all these different, new romantic style, new wave things. So just a little bit of clarity, I think, is good. You don't have to go deep into it.
No,
but a little bit of clarity helps.
Saying for next week's show, let's not be clear. Let's just say
I can't do it without being clear.
Well,
otherwise, I'm just throwing stuff against the wall and seeing if it sticks, and I don't know if it's going to stick.
Can you give me a song?
Girls just want to have fun.
Right. That's your 80s.
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. I mean, otherwise, that's what I'm doing. I don't know.
Well, don't make it so personal. Just be like.
It's not personal to me. It's got nothing to do with me. They're asking for the song.
A client hires you and says, hey, man, we want some 60s. What do you think 60s is? And you play what?
Something danceable from the 60s.
What?
I don't know.
What?
60s had, that was the singer-songwriter period. There was the pop and the top 10. You had Casey Kasem. My gosh. You
had Beatles. You had...
There were holdovers from the 50s. I mean, Frank Sinatra was still making
clarity
hits.
is important on this stuff.
I'm just saying. I think it'd be awesome for us to give 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, now. 5 songs that represent the period.
And before we close, I mean, we're running, what do we got? 5 or 10 minutes left?
We can wrap it anytime.
Are we going to see Jazzy Jeff?
Are you going to go out on the balcony there? And
hold on, leave the door.
You're.
Hold on, everybody. I'm outside.
Whoa, listen to their volume.
That's one way to
show.
Yep, there it goes.
It'll pick back up. You did that earlier.
So, but the stage for Jesse Jeff is like over there.
Okay.
Very.
You guys can probably hear that.
Yeah, we can.
A bunch of DJs paying like $3,000 to be here, and it's a dope hotel. Like, you know.
Yeah, that looks nice.
It's nice. It's genuinely nice here.
It's very Mr. Miyagi.
But what I like is it's so Miami in 70s, like Starsky and Hutch, like.
Yeah, Karate Kid.
Like, that's
Pulp
one
Fiction.
hallway. That's one way. Yes, it's definitely very Miyagi, 70s. It's a cool place. But yeah, it's been Kuiper, ADMC, and Jazzy Jeff. But yeah, next week, Brian and Howie and I are going to give you one song and then explain how that song represents 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
And no one but me is on board.
We'll see you then. I bet you're looking forward to it, aren't you, kids?
White Claw.
I know I am.
And Tito's. And Casamigos. And Jack Daniels. And Budweiser. And...
Alrighty.
Dad? No? Okay.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. See what happens.